Hi there everybody, welcome. My name is Alistair and today we're going to be looking at the Paladin tank for coming into mod 33. Now, I don't know exactly what this dungeon is going to hold, so I have got a full tanking build where I'm taking I'm making myself as tanky as possible for maximum survivability, and I'm also going to have a support build to obviously increase the party's damage and go from there. So, looking here, this is my main tanking build. I'm going to be gaining awareness, critical avoidance from my headpiece from MSH. However, I could use Manticore's main bite if I struggle with aggro. Just swap that out, lose a bit of stats, but it's okay. Our stats are pretty high, our hit points are pretty high. We shouldn't be suffering too much. That piece is brilliant. This piece from Master Lair of the Mad Dragon is also a very good piece. There's the advanced version, which is very good as well. There's a lot of good tanking headpieces out there, but the Manticore main bite is one of the easiest ones to get and very good, and the Elon headpiece is also very good. There are also some campaign pieces as well that will be very useful. This one here for 4% incoming damage reduction and 5% more hit points. However, I could utilize this chest piece. It's still a very viable chest piece. However, with the damage over time in the dungeon, plus how hard it looks like that people are getting hit, I'll probably end up just rocking the hit points. However, if my team need AP balls, then I will just chuck in the AP orb one on my main, my buff debuff tank side, I should say. But yeah, it's lots of different chest pieces to get. This is going to give me awareness, but it's also going to give me a reflected damage, which is going to be 10% maximum hit points, so that is a lot, and that's going to help me with holding aggro. I'm running the Void Touch, obviously, just for the negative 5% incoming damage, and I'm running the boots to give me 9% more, 15% more maximum hit points, and 3% more defense when I'm healed in combat. I'm running this for the Forte, and I'm running this for defense awareness. This one is obviously critical avoidance, and then my active artifact is the Mithlar fragment. When I use my daily power, I will gain an extra bunch of defense and deal some magnitude damage in an area around me. However, that magnitude damage probably won't equate to that much, but the extra defense is very nice to have and it's part of the set. Gonna gain my 8% critical avoidance, and then here I'm running these two just for constitution to increase my hit points. I've got my Death Silver Hoop of Oppression on for defense awareness, awareness bonus, and then I've got my my defense ring here for awareness, critical avoidance, and defense. This ring I would actually say is better than this ring, personally. When you actually look at the stat difference between them, the epic one gives you more ratings and this one gives you more percentage, but this one gives you defense and this one gives you awareness, and defense is more useful than awareness for the most part. Going on to what I'm running, Garnet Power, Utility Garnet for a Forte, and then Jade, Tourmaline and Jade, obviously for stats. I'm running the Rhyme Temper for my 12% incoming damage reduction, maximum hit points increased by 15%. When receiving damage, you reduce the target's outgoing damage up to 3 times. That's going to help you obviously survive. I've got this here. This is for movement speed. You could run instead, if you want to, a Celestial Fortified Nature, which gives you 10% awareness, 10% defense, and 10% deflect. Deflect is kind of a null and void stat at the moment, but defense and awareness are very useful, and it gives you the reduced damage. So that is a very viable piece that a lot of people use. It does proc up and down, but the consistent 15% is really nice to have. And as a tank, when it comes to this level of content, hit points actually mean a lot. And over here I've got Underdark Lurker for 5% critical avoidance, and here I've got my Unholy Protection for 5% critical avoidance, and it does give me a little bit of extra other stuff, but I don't really care about that. Here I would usually use a Rage of Flames if I'm really struggling, and I'll chuck that instead of my Underdark Lurker. Going on to powers, I've gone to the last. Here I've got awareness, movement speed, and power. Boons, whatever you need. I think my thoughts were, when I built this build, was primarily that was to give me just more damage to help me hold aggro, if I remember rightly. But I'll probably switch the boon points about a little bit and switch them about depending on how difficult I find the next dungeon. You know, like for example here, you could get up to 6% defense when you're being healed for 10 seconds. That's really, really good. Increase your maximum hit points, heal stamina. That's a really good one to have as a tank. I don't have it. I might switch out at some point. Over here, if you look, I'm actually running offensive rather than defensive, when I could put them over here into awareness and into critical points, which I actually probably should. But the thought pattern going into this was trying to increase my damage to help me hold aggro more. But I probably will change this over into awareness, critical avoidance. I'll probably take this one off and do my awareness, my defense, along with this one here, and do my awareness, defense. Take this one out, pop this one in for blessed resilience. I didn't check my back page before. I've been running this without even noticing that my boon points are all messed up. But you can actually tank all content in the game with no boon points, as I have done a few times on my barbarian, which has no boon points if I remember rightly. Companions, whatever the party needs for increasing the damage. Here I put deflect to deflect severity because I don't need the extra awareness and critical avoidance you get from this piece here. So instead I'm running this piece here, and it gives me a ton of stats. Deflect severity, arguably not very useful, but it does have some effect. Here I've got defense. Obviously I would switch to something else to increase the party's damage if requested, but as I say, this is my full survivability tank build. But defense, awareness, critical avoidance, raptor, still running raptor to the party, defense and awareness. I sometimes will put on particularly hard content. I might put on the undying overlord for the 9% reduced incoming damage, and I'll probably swap it out for the defense power if it fits, which it does. There we go. I would switch out for the defense power, giving me that base survivability. And moving on to mounts here. Space Hamster, I bang on about this. I love it. It's fun, but obviously in an actual dungeon I would be putting on something that increases the party's increases the party's damage to the boss. I've got Avian on at the moment. I will chuck pack tactics on when I come into a dungeon. I just put Avian on because I like to have Avian on. I normally run this in MSOD, and I normally run it as the support build in MSOD, and Avian is one that a lot of people don't have, and so I end up being put on that rather than pack tactics, because one of the healers can take pack tactics quite comfortably. So that's my full tanking build. Quickly show you what the stats look like in combat. Let me just get my Drits to attack the bosses here. And I'm going to step here and get hit a few times and see what we're talking. Hopefully my arm piece is going to kill them all before we're ready. It did. It strips killed them all off. That's actually funny. Okay, let's try this again. That's what arm piece popped. Just killed them all. Yeah, kill them all again. Anyway, in combat, I do hit my caps. I use my daily power, I cap my defense as well. Just get tip away for it. These things die too quickly. I could make them tougher, but I just didn't think to. So moving on to my support build. There we go. Everything reset. Boom. So I've currently got my Manticore main bite over here on this ring. However, I will switch to this piece here if I'm struggling for aggro, and I'll put this on Manticore's main bite, as you see here. But right now, not much changes on this left hand side. Basically nothing changes on this left hand side. The only thing that really changes here is obviously the neck waist artifact and the rings. So here I'm running my Lystry's Grace, obviously to increase the party's damage on the boss by reducing their enemies' stats. This is for helping me hold aggro, because normally when I run this means that the DPS is actually really good. And so I will need that extra little bit of stuff from the Manticore's main bite. Coming into the back here, I'm utilising awareness there. I could get critical avoidance, but my awareness is actually kind of low. My awareness does go up by a little bit. It goes up from here, it goes up from here, so that's going to be like 75, 76, 77, so around about 77% awareness, which is okay. Moving back here, I'm running the Rhyme Temper again, same enhancements as I just nipped through. I've currently got these here and campaigns, just again whatever you need. As you see here, this one actually is how my upper page should look. Defensive, hit points, movement speed, lingering medicine. This is for forte because that's some defense, and then obviously here that's for increasing damage, and then these are for increasing your healing on yourself and increasing your defensive stats as well. But this is how it should look on my main heal site as well. Companion, whatever the party needs. I'm running these, and I'm running this. This is Spiteful Hex, comes from, I believe it's Lycera. Is it Lycera? Let me just check here. I'm pretty sure that's who it comes from. It comes from, yes, Lycera. This will increase my defense by 4.5% when it procs, but it will also increase the damage the boss takes by 4.5%. Very, very nice. Very nice indeed. Again, if I need more survivability, I would probably change out the awareness, and I would chuck on, there he is, Undying Overlord. And here I'm running the Molten Belt of the Talisman, Molten Belt of the Companion for awareness, critical avoidance, and armor break, obviously for reducing the boss's defense, increasing everyone's damage. Rocking Paralyzed Polymorph, because that's what I find to be the best for increasing damage on the boss. Avian Aura, again, I've switched to pack tactics if they request me to. In fact, why don't I just chuck it on now? Because actually, yeah, and then I just do this, and that, close enough. And then I could do this. And here's me just trying to fix my stats midway through making a video. I'm sorry guys, I probably shouldn't be doing this, but yeah, that looks okay. And then on the back page, it's Guardian Spirit for the hit points, Lionheart's Perseverance for survivability, and Protector's Covenant. Now I absolutely could just do this and chuck on here, this, and that would increase my, there we go. So that's going to increase the party's movement speed and a bit of survivability when I use a daily power to help the party out. Brilliant. Sorry, I should have done all this building stuff before I before I came in to do the video. Here's me just messing about with stats while doing the video. Anyway, get back to it. As you see here, I'm running Fortitude, Evasion, Refuge, for the most part down the list. Some of these I've got account wide, some of them I don't, because getting them account wide costs quite a bit and it's quite annoying. And then down here I've got one full list of brutalities, and that's purely because I don't need the extra tanking insignias. I don't want to spend the AD on them, and I think it would just be a waste for me. So, going in, we're going to have a look and seeing what we're going to be proccing when we're in combat. These are my consumables. I use Caprice for the hit points. However, I could use Fitzy Brute for the stats and movement speed, depending on what the new content is going to be like. I use Crafted Potion of Defense. I use honeyed bread for the defense, and I use Elixir of Steadfast Devotion. The Elixir of Steadfast Devotion for defense and awareness. So, hit bosses, get all that stuff propped, and see what it looks like in combat. So as you see here, capping 73, that's going to go up and down, and hit, use some smite, use some power, and I will use a daily power, and there we go. So 75.8, 73.8, and 90. That is what I am getting in combat in regards to my stats, which is pretty respectable considering everything. That's with the daily proc. That wasn't with the Lycera proc. Lycera would bring it up to another up to 110 in defense. So that is my build. Oh, one last thing. I'll show the rotation that I use for holding aggro. It is literally just do as much damage as possible. Now, if I'm really struggling for aggro, I will put on... It would be nice if my game just didn't randomly freeze up. There we go. Okay, let's put on my... My game's freezing up. It won't let me search owlbear. There it is anyway. Perfect. So as you see here, I'll put on my owlbear, and that will help me with my aggro. If you see here, this is Blazing Aegis. This just helps me with survivability if I need it. But the owlbear will help me with aggro. So for an artifact call, without using let's go to power actually over here. I'll use Radiant Slam to close gaps and Earth Strike to help me increase my threat. I'll use Smite combined with Divine Challenger, obviously to increase my ability to hold aggro, and then I'll use Absolution and Binding Oath, especially if it's in a hard dungeon. If I'm struggling with aggro, I'll take off Absolution and I'll put on Vow of Enmity, or I will put on Tempered Wrath, just depending what I'm running. For aggro holding, I'll use Divine Judgment, and for team support, I'll use Shield of Faith, obviously to give them that bonus. Here for Aura of Protection, I will put on the Crit Strike Aura if needed, and I've got, as I said, Divine Challenger. And over here, I am top, and you can read through these if you like. Top, the first two aren't that important. Top, this is important. So when you block on your small shield, you actually regenerate divinity. So if you're blocking ads with your small shield, you're regenerating divinity. If you use your right bumper and dig in, anything that hits the shield at the front will regenerate divinity as well. So if you basically draw the aggro with the ads from your intimidating presence, holding out your right bumper, run around, get the aggro, you use your Binding Oath and your Absolution to increase your survivability, and that will keep your stamina coming back, and then you dig in. When you're in that position, your stamina will come back as your divinity will come back because they're hitting on your shield. I hope that makes sense. So the artifact call is literally just like as if you're a DPS. They're going to throw everything down, and you're just going to pop a few smites, pop an owlbear, pop a daily, pop a couple of smites, and hold a little bit in reserve just in case. The team needs you just to steal it right back at the end. And so what you're doing there by dropping your daily is you are doing almost 220 magnitude damage, and that gives your Manticore's main bite the chance of proccing, which you probably will, giving you a massive bump to your aggro. So Paladins get really good aggro for AoE. For single target, they'll get plenty of aggro, but it's all about divinity management. If you can manage your divinity, you won't have a problem on the Paladin at all. anyway, that's my Paladin healer build. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you on the next time. Next, it will be mod 33 itself. I look forward to making build videos once I've got my celestial rings, my celestial gear, all that sort of stuff. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time. Goodbye for now.